Hello everyone, today we'll crochet this waterweed pattern baseball cap. We're using iSilk cotton linen flat yarn. One spool of yarn is enough for one head. The kit includes a crochet hook, a leather tag, stitch markers, a sewing needle, and a visor. Take the end of the yarn. Seal the yarn end to prevent fraying. Wrap yarn with your pinky, guide with your index finger, and loop it once around your middle finger. Pinch the crossing point. Use a 4mm double-ended crochet hook. Pull the yarn through the loop. Chain 3. Place the stitch marker here. Foundation 18 chains for kids, 19 chains for adults, 20 for larger head sizes. This chain counts as one stitch. The 3 chains count as one double crochet. I'm demonstrating with the adult size. Back into the loop. Crochet 18 more double crochets. Total should be 19 stitches. Here's the third stitch. Yarn over, 3 loops unhook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then through the last 2. That's one double crochet. Including the initial chain 3. Count your stitches up to 19. That's the adult base. Now let's move to round 2. Remove the stitch marker. Slip stitch into top chain, insert hook under both loops. Pull through for slip stitch, then chain 3 again. Place your stitch marker on the chain 3. Back into the same stitch. Tuck the yarn tail as you go. Pull yarn through, complete double crochet. Pull through 2 loops, then the last 2. In the next stitch, chain 3 count as 1. Add another double crochet, 2 in each stitch. This is an increase. Two double crochets in every stitch. Repeat this throughout the round. Tuck the tail as you go. Finish the round with this pattern. If the yarn tail is too long, trim it and seal it with a lighter. After round 2, you'll have 38 stitches. For kids, 36 stitches from 18. Now we start round 3. Do a slip stitch into the top. Pick up both loops. Chain 3 again. Add the stitch marker here. This is your first stitch. Yarn over and go back to the slip stitch spot. Make 1 double crochet, then another one, chain 1, skip 1 stitch. In the third stitch, crochet a double crochet, yarn over, make a second double crochet in the same stitch, chain 1, repeat, skip 1 stitch, make 2 double crochets in the next stitch. They go into the same space. After the 2 double crochets, chain 1, repeat the same pattern. The pattern for this round is 2 double crochets, then 1 chain stitch, skip 1 stitch below. Each group is separated by 1 skip stitch. The 2 stitches are always in the same base stitch. Repeat this process to complete the round. End the round by skipping 1, chaining 1. Now onto round 4. Begin with a slip stitch, chain 3 as usual, chain 3, mark the first stitch with a stitch marker, yarn over, in the second stitch, make 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1 for the space between groups. Next group, work into the previous group's top, 2 stitch group. In the first stitch, 1 double crochet. In the second, make 2. This adds 1 stitch per group. Alright, again 2 double crochets in the second stitch. Good. Chain 1 for spacing, 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 2 in the second. Chain 1. Repeat the same for each group. Chain 1 between groups. One more example. First stitch, normal. Second stitch, increase. Chain 1 again. That completes round 4's pattern. We've gone from 2 to 3 double crochets. You can now finish the round. Repeat the pattern for all groups. At the end of round 4, chain 1 after the last group, leave 1 space in between. Now let's begin round 5 with a slip stitch. Slip stitch to start the round. Now we need to slip stitch to the second double crochet. 1 more slip stitch. Slip stitch into the third chain. Right in the middle of 3 double crochet group, chain 3 to begin. Place your stitch marker on the starting stitch. Now yarn over, work in the same stitch. Make 3 more double crochets. That's 2. Yarn over, 3. With the initial chain, we now have 4. That's one full flower group. Chain 1 between groups as before. Alright, after 5 rounds, the crown of the hat is complete. Now let's start the body of the hat. Remove the stitch marker here. Round 6 begins the main shell pattern. Make a slip stitch. The shell pattern is centered between the 4 double crochets, so we need to move our yarn into position, slip into the second stitch, then again between the second and third. Now we're centered. Chain 3. That's our first double crochet. Mark this chain as the first stitch. Now work one more double crochet into the same space. With the chain 3, that makes 2 stitches total. Chain 1 to create a space. Back in the same space, add 2 more double crochets. Chain 1, then 2 more double crochets. That's the basic shell pattern. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now yarn over, go into the next shell center. Between the second and third double crochets, that's the central gap for the shell, right in between the 4 stitches. Start here, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. That's one shell group made with 4 double crochets. One, two, chain 1 to finish the shell. That's the method for round 6. Let's now look at the second round of the hat body. We've completed one round of the shell pattern. Slip stitch into the first chain to close the round. From here on out, we'll be crocheting into the center of each shell, right into this gap. Move the yarn into the center space. One more slip stitch to position. Alright, chain 3 and mark it as the first stitch. This is our starting point. Yarn over and go back into the same space. Make 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets total, chain 1, then 2 more double crochets into the same gap. 1, 2, chain 1 to finish the shell. Move to the next shell space. 2 double crochets, chain 1, then 2 more double crochets into the same space. That's the repeat for all following rounds. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in each center space. Next group. One, 2. Finish with the chain 1. Repeat this pattern to finish the round. You can complete the rest of the round on your own. Let's go over it one more time. This is how we start each shell for the head body. All rounds follow the same method. Crocheting the shell pattern, start from the first stitch, slip stitch to begin. Pull yarn through directly. In the shell gap, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Slip stitch into the second double crochet to reposition yarn, pull the yarn through, then slip stitch again into the shell center. Now we're back in the center gap. Start working from here. Chain 3, count as first double crochet. Go back into the space, make 1 double crochet. That's 2 double crochets total. Chain 1. Go back and add 2 more double crochets. Again, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 1, back into the same space, 2 more double crochets. Work in this style until the head body measures about 16 centimeters from the top center. That's the target height. Measure from the center of the crown. Once you reach 16 centimeters, stop crocheting. If you don't have a ruler, try it on. The brim should sit about 1 shell above the ears. We'll crochet 3 rounds of single crochet. Now let's start shaping the edge. There are 19 shell groups total. Each group has 6 stitches. So we'll reduce a few stitches while crocheting the edge. Let's decrease following this rule. For every 4 shell groups, decrease 1 stitch. So in total, remove about 5 stitches. Mark and decrease as you go. Now let's begin the edge with single crochet. We'll use spiral round, no slip stitches. Start with 1 single crochet directly. Mark the first stitch. Continue stitching around. 1 stitch per chain space. Reduce stitch count where needed. 1, 2, 3, 4. After every 4 groups, reduce 1 stitch. That gives us about 5 stitches reduced in total. Alright, let's begin. Start at the first stitch here. From here, we'll do spiral single crochet rounds. No slip stitch join. Just start with one single crochet. Mark this as the first stitch. One single crochet in each chain space. Third stitch goes into the center gap. Now continue, the fourth stitch is on the double crochet row. Then the fifth stitch, one in the space. That's 6 stitches in total for one shell group. Now onto the second group. 1, 2, third in the space, 4, 5, 6. First few groups are worked normally. Now onto the third group, same process, 6 stitches. Four, 5, and 6. For the fourth group, we'll reduce 1 stitch. We skip the first stitch, start from the second one. We've reduced 1 stitch here. Now stitch 2, 3, in the center, 4, 5. So this group has 5 stitches total. 1 stitch was removed from every 4 groups. Reduce 1 stitch on the last group only. First 3 are normal. 1, 2, 5, 6. Next group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Third group again. For the last group, skip the first stitch, start from the second one. You'll only crochet 5 stitches in this group. After this, the next 2 rounds are worked normally. Just crochet 1 single crochet per stitch. That's 1 to 1 single crochet. After the first stitch, don't forget to replace the stitch marker. If 2 rounds feel too short on your head, go ahead and add a third round. Try it on. If it's too shallow, just crochet 1 more round. You can finish the rest on your own now. Alright, we've completed 2 more rounds, so that makes 3 rounds of single crochet total. Now the length looks good. Let's finish up. Pull out the working yarn and cut it. Now remove the stitch marker. We're going to do an invisible join. Take out the marker first. Here's the marked first stitch. We'll skip that one and go into the second stitch. Pull the yarn through as if mimicking a regular stitch. Then insert the needle back into the last stitch hole. From the underside, pick up the back loop, grab the inner loop here. Now pull the yarn tight. See, it blends right in, seamless. You won't see the join. Now hide the yarn tail inside. Tuck it in well on the inside of the hat. Sew a little further in, make sure it's tight and secure. Now trim off the extra yarn toe. After cutting, use a lighter to melt the edge slightly. Stick it down to the inside. That prevents fraying. This way, you won't even know where the join is, completely hidden. Great! The seam is here. Now fold the hat in half. Okay, fold it over. Mark this side stitch with a stitch marker. Now let's count for the brim. Count out from the center. So with 22 on each side plus 1 in the middle, that's 45 stitches total. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 11. Mark that stitch. This marks one edge of the brim. Do the same on the other side. Don't count the center stitch again. Count up to 11 again. Mark this side too. So between the two markers, we have 45 stitches for the brim. Now melt the yarn tail slightly with the lighter again. Seal the end neatly. Start from the first marked stitch. Pull the new yarn through. Pick up just the front loop. Chain 1 to start. Then insert into the same stitch. Working into the front loop only. The brim will be double layered, so we'll work back around later. Once this stitch is done, place a stitch marker. Do the same for the next stitch. Pick up the front loop only, make a single crochet. As you go, hide the yarn tail inside the stitches. Always work into the inner front loop. Continue 1 to 1 along 45 stitches. Leave the back loop for later. We'll use it when we crochet the second layer. Pick up the front loop only, hide the yarn tail. If the yarn tail is too long, just trim it and melt the tip slightly. Now continue working front loops only. Keep going until the row is complete. That finishes the first row. After that, chain 1. This is your last stitch in the row. Now that we've finished it, chain 1 and turn your work. Since the brim curves inward, we'll decrease in this row. That means skip the first stitch of the row. Start from the second stitch where the marker is. Pick up just the inner strand. Only pick up the inner loop. Leave the outer loop unworked. We're only using one side. Work through the inner single strand to make your stitches. Now at the end of row 2, we're going to decrease, so don't work into the second stitch from the end. Instead, go straight to the last stitch and mark it. Leave one stitch unworked, work into the first and the last stitch only, adjust the stitch at the end. Skip one and then finish the last one completely. Make a clean single crochet. There's a gap in the middle from skipping one stitch. Chain one again at the end. Mark the final stitch, turn your work over. We're now on row 3. Again, skip the first stitch as usual. If it's hard to see, pull the yarn up longer or use a stitch marker if needed. Again, skip the first and work from the second. Pick up the inner loop. At the end, adjust and finish neatly. There's a vertical bar from the turning chain. You can identify it by the horizontal stitches. And the tops are all chain stitches. Now finishing up the third row, same steps. One single crochet, and you're done with that row. Chain 1 to lift it, turn your work again. Now row 4. This time, no decreasing, just straight across. Row 4 is 1-to-1, no shaping. Still working only in a loop. For decreasing rows, skip first stitch, skip second to last at the end. Finish the last stitch cleanly. This row is worked evenly, 1-to-1. Now we've completed the 15th row as per the pattern. Skip one stitch at the end. Make a slip stitch into the last stitch. Then chain 1 and fasten off. Pull the yarn through and cut. Again, skip one stitch at the end. We're left with 25 stitches now. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. Secure the end inside, tuck the tail away. Cut off the remaining yarn tail. As always, use a letter to seal it. Tuck it neatly inside. Now we've finished one side. Time to start the other panel. We'll begin from here. Always crochet from right to left. Same pattern for the second side. Okay, pull out your yarn. Start here. Insert your hook. Work 1 to 1 into the inner loops. Always crochet in the same direction. Repeat the exact same process. Make a second panel identical to the first. Alright, start with a single crochet in the first stitch. Then go into the remaining half loops. On this side only, work single crochets 1 to 1 across. As for this second piece, we won't go over the steps again, just follow what we did earlier. Repeat for this second panel, complete 15 rows just like the first one.